هديناه السبيل أما شاكرا وأما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسلا وأغلالا وسعيرا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا إن الأبرار يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اعوذ باللہ السمیع العلیم من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. 4-5 اشعار پیش خدمت ہیں. کہہ کے عباس نے یہ چلو سے پھینکا پانی، کہہ کے عباس نے یہ چلو سے پھینکا پانی، سیکھ انسان کو پرکھنے کا سلیقہ پانی، سیکھ انسان کو پرکھنے کا سلیقہ پانی. کون کر سکتا ہے تشریح وفائے عباس، کون کر سکتا ہے تشریح وفائے عباس، ہاتھ کٹوا دیے وہ جن سے چھوا تھا پانی، ہاتھ کٹوا دیے وہ جن سے چھوا تھا پانی. کربلا میں تو مسلمانوں میں غیرت ہی نہ تھی، کربلا میں تو مسلمانوں میں غیرت ہی نہ تھی، ورنہ ایک بچے کو درکار تھا کتنا پانی، ورنہ ایک بچے کو درکار تھا کتنا پانی. ایڑیاں اپنی زمین پر جو رگڑتے اصغر، ایڑیاں اپنی زمین پر جو رگڑتے اصغر، کربلا تیرے سنبھالے نہ سنبھلتا پانی، کربلا تیرے سنبھالے نہ سنبھلتا پانی. ایک سلام پیش خدمت ہے. ڈاکٹر ریحان اعظمی صاحب کا کراچی سے، جناب حضرت عباس علمدار علیہ السلام اور بی بی سکینہ کے سے. مظلومیت کے محور عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ. مظلومیت کے محور عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ. غم کے ہیں دو سمندر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ. مظلومیت کے محور عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ. ایک موج تشنگی ہے، ایک تشنگی کا دریا، ایک موج تشنگی ہے، ایک تشنگی کا دریا، ایک پیاس کی علامت، ایک روح تک ہے پیاسا، احسان کربلا پر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، ایک وارث علم ہے، ایک ہے علم رسیدہ، ایک وارث علم ہے، ایک ہے علم رسیدہ، ایک دوسرے کے غم میں دونوں ہے عابدیدہ، صبر و وفا کا پیکر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، پیاری ہے یہ چچا کی، اس پر چچا ہے قربان، پیاری ہے یہ چچا کی، اس پر چچا ہے قربان، یہ آیت سکون ہے، وہ ہے وفا کا قرآن، دونوں قرار ہے در عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، اس کا سفر سنا پر کانٹوں پہ یہ چلی ہے، اس کا سفر سنا پر کانٹوں پہ یہ چلی ہے، نیزے سے وہ گرا ہے، یہ اونٹ سے گری ہے، نیزے سے وہ گرا ہے، یہ اونٹ سے گری ہے، زخموں میں ہے برابر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، اس کے بندھے ہیں بازو، اس کے جدا ہے بازو، اس کے بندھے ہیں بازو، اس کے جدا ہے بازو، اس کے لگے تماچے، وہ رویا خون کے آنسو، اس کے لگے تماچے، وہ رویا خون کے آنسو، کنبے کے غم میں مضطر عباس اور سکینہ، ایک عکس فاطمہ ہے، ایک عکس مرتضیٰ ہے، زندہ ہے دونوں مر کر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، لگتی ہے اب سبیلیں دونوں کا نام لے کر، ایک شام کی ہے زہرا، ایک کربلا کا حیدر، تقسیم کار کوثر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، رشتوں کی پاسداری ان سے زمانہ سیکھے، ایسے چچا بھتیجی پہلے کبھی نہ دیکھے، رشتوں کے ہیں پیمبر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، ریحان کیوں نہ لکھوں اشکوں سے اپنے نوحہ، یہ واقعہ جب ہے تاریخ کربلا کا، یہ واقعہ جب ہے تاریخ کربلا کا، تنہا تھے مثل لشکر عباس اور سکینہ، عباس اور سکینہ، مظلومیت کے محور عباس اور سکینہ، غم کے ہیں دو سمندر عباس اور سکینہ، صلوات۔
Brothers, if we can come a little bit forward, especially those who are sitting in the back, to allow those who come in later, inshallah, to sit comfortably, inshallah. Brother Abbas, volume a little bit. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة، يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله الحكيم في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the love of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. For the love of his son Ali al-Akbar, صلوا على Muhammad again. And to hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam, Al-Imam Sahib al-Asri wal-Zaman, أرواحنا لتراب مقدمه الفدا, صلوا على Muhammad with the loudest of your voices. Our societies today are in a continuous process of change. For life today is vastly different from life 10, 15 years ago. And life 10, 15 years ago was vastly different than life 30 and 40 years ago. One of the benefits of change that we have witnessed as human beings in this life are the technological advancements of society. With one click of a button, you are able to communicate with your loved ones even if they are on the other side of this world. With one click of a button, you're able to read about the news of essentially every corner of this world. It doesn't matter where you're located, as long as you have the internet, you have a smartphone, you're able to access the news of every town in this world. That's one of the benefits. A second benefit are related to the healthcare. With the advancements of healthcare in society, you see that the average age span of a human being in this world has increased. 20 years ago, the average age span of a human being in this world was around 66 years. Now it has risen to 73 years. Meaning that the advancements of our healthcare systems in the world have allowed the average human being to live for 6 more years in this world. And that, of course, is a great thing. Even in Islam, وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. And he who saves one life is as if they saved the entirety of humanity. A third form of benefits that we saw with changing societies is related to education. The rates of literacy, the rates of global literacy have increased exponentially in the past decade or so. Meaning that more and more people in this world are able to read and write. And of course, that's a great thing. People are able to enroll in school, in college, in university, and learn and graduate by staying at home. You don't have to go to campus anymore. You don't have to go to school anymore. You can learn and study and graduate and earn a degree just by staying at home. So we see in the past 15, 20 years, our lives have been more comfortable. essentially. We're living better lives from a comfort standpoint. But at the same time, there are also negatives about the changes that have happened in the past 10 and 15 years. And perhaps the most damaging consequence of today's modern society is the deterioration of the traditional family. We see that the traditional family, a family that is composed of a man and a wife, a husband and a wife and children, is under threat. And these damages are very consequential. For family is essentially the base of society. According to the UN Human Rights Declaration, it says that the family is the natural and fundamental unit of society, and it is entitled to protection by society and the state. But when we look in reality, we see that that's not true. The family is not protected. The family, the rights of a family. Let's look at some potential solutions to this issue. But before we do so, brothers and sisters, we need 3 loud salawats. Now someone might say, my family is doing okay. My wife and I are in a wonderful relationship. We have a wonderful relationship with our kids. Our kids are going to the best of schools. They're receiving the best of education. So there is no need to worry about it. My family will be safe. Now, the reality is, brothers and sisters, the agenda against the family in today's society is so enormous to the point that many of us don't even realize it. It'll come in our way without even realizing it. No family is immune to it, brothers and sisters. That's the first thing that we need to understand, is no family is immune to these issues. And that's been throughout history. I mean, look at the story of Nabiullah Nuh. Nabiullah Nuh was a prophet, yet his son turned out to be a disbeliever. So if a prophet had to face this issue, then who am I and who are you? Therefore, we conclude that any family can unfortunately go through these trials and tribulations. But there are specific issues that we are facing in the 21st century. The first cause in which many families are deteriorating is the increased sense of individualism. We live in a society that tells you what matters is the individual above all else. What matters is your dreams and your desires. What matters is your career and what you want. And if your desires and what you want and what your career goes against the interests of a group, the interests of a family, the interests of a society, your interests should prevail. Now, there's nothing wrong with focusing on our goals. There's nothing wrong with focusing on our careers. Of course, it's encouraged in our religion. But when it becomes our primary concern. When our primary concern in life is us, meaning the individual and only the individual, then it becomes damaging. Because at that point, if a human being says, my only interest, my primary interest is life, is myself and myself only, then there's no room for family. There's no room to include someone else in your life, because you will always look out for your interest first. And that's not how a family works. And the systems today, the modern systems of today, they want you to focus on yourself and your focus only. They want you to be independent from a family. And they want every single person within that family to be independent from one another. And I'll explain to you why. Because when you become fully independent without being in a family, you must work. And when you work, you'll produce more. And when everyone works and everyone produces more, it means that consumption will also increase. And therefore you see the economic cycle thriving. But at the cost of whom? At the cost of the family. The cost of the individual himself. Because even if the term is individualism, which is aimed to empower the individual, in reality it only harms the individual. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Holy Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. And from His signs is that He created from amongst yourselves wives. Why? So that you might find tranquility, peace, serenity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this family for us to find peace. He is saying that if you want to find peace in this world, you have to be within a family. If you don't have that family, your career is never going to give you that peace. But many people, and unfortunately many Muslims, we realize that they forget to reflect upon the Quran and the ideals of the Quran. The word family in Arabic is titled Usra. If you open the dictionary and you look at the meaning of the word Usra, you know what you will find? It means al-dir'u al-hasin. Al-usra means al-dir'u al-hasin, an immune shield. Why? Why does family mean an immune shield in Arabic? Because family protects you. Family protects you from the outside world, from the dangers of society. For family is the place we turn to when we face difficulties in this life. For family is the unit that we look up to and we try to continue to live in peace with that family. But we see in our society today that many people are escaping this immune shield. They feel like that this shield is a sword, and the sword is directed at them. You ask many of our young youth, or those who are at the age of marriage, why are you not getting married? They tell you, I want to focus on my career. I want to enjoy my life for the next few years before I settle down. They make it seem like you can't have fun when you're married. They make it seem that the moment you get married, it's like a death sentence. Some of them tell you, I don't want to have responsibility at the moment. I don't want to take care of a family. Well, that stems from the teachings of individualism in our society. Because if we teach our kids from a young age that your purpose in life is to be a good man, to be a good husband, your purpose in life is to be a good wife, your purpose in life is to continue the mission of Islam, to bring up new leaders into this religion, people who will change this world for the better. If we teach our kids, our families that from the very first moment, we won't have our kids telling us straight up in the face that, you know what, I don't want to take responsibility at the moment, or I want to have fun before I settle down. And therefore, you see many people escaping marriage. There's a stigma around marriage. And that is why the rates of marriage in the US have plummeted by 50%. In the past 50 years, 60%. In the past 60 years, the rates have plummeted by 60%. Meaning that less and less people are getting married in today's society. In fact, according to a